This is going to be a video for an explanation as to why the black woman is what the modern day man would call unruly, disrespectful, and manly, right? Aggressive, right? Now, before I get into the ideology as to why the black woman is the way that she is, let me walk you down the pathway, right, to a black woman who did not fall asleep. A black woman who was completely aware of what has happened from the time of her captivation to now. Okay? So imagine, right? Let's go back to slavery, right? So the black man is screaming, "Submit to me. I am the man you're supposed to follow," right? The black woman knows that this is the natural way, right? But there's something in the black woman that refuses to submit wholeheartedly. Why is that? Has the black man really asked that question, or is he just leading in his own delusion so that his ideology can make more sense, right? Now, back to slavery, right? So, let's say we're in Africa, right? Before slavery happened, this is a week, say it's a week before slavery, right? Now, the black woman has always submitted to the black man, right? So much so that she's allowed things like concubines and other wives and shit. That's how all the way down on her knees the black woman has been for the black man throughout time, right? So much so that something like polygamy makes sense to the literal creation of all humankind, right? This is the woman that has been told to submit and lay down, right? So this woman has done that. She's laid down and submitted to the black man, right? Now, the black man in his leadership has led portions of the black family into captivity with barbaric savages, right? Not only did he lead his black woman into captivity with barbaric savages, but also he led his mother, his sister, his father, his aunts and uncles, his children. He's led all of these people into captivity in his leadership, right? And then, years after the fact, decades even, right? He then comes to the black woman who is extremely brokenhearted. Okay? This black woman who did not fall asleep. This black woman who every time she incarnated into this life, she knew that there was something wrong, that there was a betrayal that happened deep within her connection to somebody near and dear to her, because it's directly affecting her life, right? She can't articulate this because she has a new shell, right? Now, if you believe in incarnation, I believe in incarnation. I believe that people can come back here, especially if they haven't really understood the reason for their incarnation, right? Sometimes we will cycle back, and a lot of us choose to because we have eternity, right? So why wouldn't you want to make sure that you get all the pieces to the puzzle in this great eternal quest, right? So she is coming back, right? But she is still submissive, right, to this black man. But there's like a distaste in the submission because of her environment when she comes back, right? She's still in captivity. So she's incarnating again and again for over 400 years. Still the distaste that she feels is growing stronger and stronger. And then the black man, out of all of the captivity, all of the beatings, everything that she had witnessed, right? In these years of reincarnating back into the same situation, if not worse, right? She is aware of this, and this black man is now asking her in current times to submit to him with no real apology. Can we just acknowledge that there was no apology? And you know how I know there's no apology? Because the black man has no real remorse. especially the red pillars, they have no real remorse for what the black woman had to endure because of the choices of the black man. Do you understand? Yes, we were both in captivity, but it hurt more because the reason was not because of the black woman, it was because of the black man. Right? So when you see all of these horrible things, it's a dissociation. I don't feel like the black woman always used to forget when she came back to this incarnation. She didn't forget, but she chose to forget because of the beastly torture that she witnessed and experienced. I don't know about you, but if I was in this incarnation here that I'm in right now with you here, and I watched somebody take my newborn baby and throw them into the lake, an alligator infested lake at that, watch alligators come up as my baby's fighting to be able to swim and float, snatch my baby by the stomach and pull it down. Do you know the type of dissociation spiritually that will cause a person? Right? Being whooped on your back was a mercy compared to what they did. It was very, very beastly times with a very beastly people. Okay? So then you have this black man, right, saying, submit to me. And she has no problem doing it. You can see, even to this day, the black woman is still male-centered on the black man. She won't even date outside of her race. She loves him so much. And rightfully so, because that's who she chose. Right? She chose the black man, right? So, and the black man chose her. So that's a union as old as time, right? Literally. So she's still willing to submit to him, but now he has an attitude about it because she has a pain. Okay, when you get down to the raw reality of it, it's pain. No matter if it's coming out as aggression or dishonesty or disloyalness or the lack of desire to submit fully, like it's all coming from pain. The pain that was embedded in her epigenetics, that you betrayed her, that when she submitted to you fully, so wholeheartedly, you led her into captivity. When she allowed you to lead, you led her into captivity. And then in this current time, you don't even have the audacity to have a gracefulness when you come upon her. You don't even have the audacity to come with a sense of grace. And it's unfortunate for the black man who never would have sold his people into slavery, right? Because a lot of the black men that were sold into slavery were the really, really strong ones, the ones who were mentally able to really be able to decipher what's going on. They sold those people into slavery because they would have never been able to rule Africa without those people being gone, right? So for the black man who never did this is not your message. I am not talking to you. Thank you so much for holding the line and always protecting me and my sisters and my mothers and my daughters. Thank you. Now back to the black man who thinks that he does not have to submit and does not have to show a level of grace when you can see a reflection of your doing coming back to you in the form of karma through your woman, not realizing that the only thing that can really take that type of pain away is your acknowledgement of it. You just swept it under the rug like the white man, and then you walk around and proclaim that you're not like him. Come on. You say you love your black queen, you love your daughter, you love your mother. You have to understand that the reflection of the woman is based off the leadership of the man. Do you understand? You have me in another man's reality, in another man's realm, in another man's system, with another man's form of money, telling me that I should be led by you, after you have not even acknowledged the fact that the reason why we're even here having to do this is because you made the wrong choice. Because you thought that selling people for gold and riches would not bring tremendous karma. And if you look at a lot of the black country or the African countries, they're not doing well, and they're still actively quarreling against one another. And that's a reflection of the karma, because you lacked family and you lacked loyalty. Now you're living in a reality of that. A lack of family, a lack of loyalty. That's why there's so many tribes in Africa, because nobody can come to the understanding that you are making the wrong choice. You made the wrong choices. That's why people are leading. I don't even want to get into it, because that's the video for another time. Okay? But please understand that if you really want to have a connection with a black woman, especially a black woman who is conscious, okay, a black woman who is spiritually able, a black woman who did not forget, a black woman who held the line, a black woman who is directly connected to the divine, okay, she's going to remember. So if you are not coming with a sense of humbleness when you come to her, if you're coming with aggression, you're going to look to her like society looked when they were whipping her on her back and throwing her children in the alligator-infested lakes. You're going to look the exact same, because you don't have no sense of compassion for how much she has lost, how much she has gone through, and how you say that she's a whore for being promiscuous, not realizing that the choices that you made led her into being raped, and destroyed and defiled by a beastly man in a beastly time. It's like you're the first person that brought upon her promiscuity, her promiscuity, and then you then shame her as she walks through something that is a normality for her because of your decisions to just be free for all, to be open for any, right? That's what you did when you sold pieces of your family into captivity. You said that woman and that lineage is free for all. Do what you will with this one. I don't care about this one. She is not African. She is not part of the original family. This is what they said. This is how they were able to sell pieces of black people into slavery, right? Because yes, the black man, right? Because it's damn sure it wasn't a woman. The black man did sell pieces of the black family into slavery. Yes, it was a business back then. But how stupid can you be to put your actual pieces on the puzzle for bargainship? Stupid. Why would you ever do that? I don't even understand why you even think that you're fit to lead if that was something that you thought was okay, right? How do you even conceive that you're fit to lead when you think that it's okay to fight and quarrel with your own people? People who are brown skinned just like you, people who drink of the sun just as you do, people who are original bloodlines from the Most High God just as you are. But jealousy is a motherfucker, man, and it has torn apart the black community. That's all I have to say. Till next time.